Okay,
And we're
we
live.
are live, people. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Earthlings. Hope you're doing well. We have the fabulous Danial Boland with us. And I know that a lot of them have been looking forward to this, none more than me. How is everybody doing this evening? Hello, Rhea Snakespears here. She wants to ruffle your hair. Can you do it for her, Daniel? Just run your, that's it. They're loving it.
Oh, the crowd's gone wild.
The crowd's going wild. We should have had some cheering noise. The numbers will increase. Don't worry about that.
So it was looking good before as well.
Daniel's actually
I don't know what to do now.
He's with Harry and Meghan. He's in one of their toilets at the moment. He managed to break into the house. Harry's going to have him assassinated in a moment when he gets his IPP status.
I was listening to your video today. Your Harry impression, I have to say, rivals mine for
that's because
authenticity.
I'm manly, Daniel.
I don't think mine's. Everyone always goes on about my Harry impression in the comments. I don't even think I'm doing a good. I'm sort of doing a caricature of it. Yours is pretty accurate. I was like, oh God, he's nailed it.
I don't know how to take that actually, but yeah, Harry's a bit of a big girl's blouse anyway, isn't he? He's a right namby.
I don't know what he is, to be honest. I don't know.
He is.
He's odd, isn't he?
I think he's here. I'm sure he watches all of us, but I don't know that they know you exist, but I'm pretty sure they will now. Meghan will be like, who is this bastard? Not another one. Wait till she sees the things.
I am absolutely 100% certain that they are. I don't know, but I guess that my guess is that they're massively unaware that any of this exists.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I think they are painfully aware that we. Does that make a difference now when you're doing your videos? Because I don't know if I'm going to get away with saying it on here, but you did one where you were doing it like really quite politically correct, and then you suddenly said about Meghan that she was doing something up that greasy pole. I'm not going to say the word. Climbing that greasy pole. I think we all know the word I'm talking about. And I thought, how does he get away with that? If I did that, do you not get sugars? Do you know what
not one?
Are? You're
yeah, I do. And I've heard everyone talking about it, and I've heard loads of people warning. I've had people sending me emails warning me about it. It's never happened.
That's incredible. Oh well, I think.
And I've got to say, like, of all of the videos I've made, I've been doing it for months, and I've had very, very few negative comments. Like, even negative comments, like you get the odd person who's not, and even the negative comments aren't that bad. It's really weird. It's like everyone's always saying how vicious these sugars are and everything. I've had no experience of it.
That is amazing.
I don't know why.
Maybe we're just not on their radar.
Maybe, yeah.
It's a car horn, is it?
No, it's a ship.
Oh, it's a ship. We've got a refinery next door to us as well. This is my daughter. She's another huge fan.
I said to someone in the Discord call that they might appear. I might appear.
Okay. Come and check on the car. Oh, she loves your blue eyes. Everybody loves it. I like the little white circles you get in them.
She showed me one of your videos, and the first thing I noticed was the blue eyes because it's the only thing in your video with colour.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's like the most obvious
kids.
Colour.
Sorry, Daniel.
No.
You're all in black
I'm
and
around
white.
Kids all day.
Kids. Reporting from 1930s.
He's got a grey room. You can't blame him for looking at the only thing that looks like blue.
Yeah, I can't believe you don't get shit. Do you never get called a racist? Or like you white privileged male?
I'd love to say that I do, because I would love some of that hate, because I love it when I love it. When I get a negative comment. When I get a negative comment, I love it because I think it's just hilarious. But I just don't get that many. Like, and the thing is that I don't like being in an echo chamber. It's like
Yeah.
I say stuff and everyone's like, yes, we agree. And
Yeah.
so like, sometimes I just feel like I should come out and make like a defense of Meghan videos, or you know, just to get some, just you know, just to feel something.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
once.
I know what you mean. We've got in this channel, we have got some sugars. They're not that bad actually, and we've
Really?
got Meghan fans, and we've got Guardian readers, and
Oh no!
Oh no, not the Guardian readers. I admit I've read it quite a few times. Oh, we've got another one who's come to say hello.
Hello.
So you got all these.
Oh, sorry, am I ruining the background illusion with my green hoodie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're killing my green.
Go away, vanishing. God, you think you've got problems getting your kids to go to bed? Mine are up all night.
You see,
don't trip on the wire, for God's sake.
You're ignoring my messages in the chat, and someone dared me to come and ruin the live.
Okay, just don't unplug it. We did a live over Christmas, and I had a guest on, and Ben knocked the power off, and the guest was just left on their own for about 10 minutes. They were like, "Oh," and they were
still on the live.
And it was just a black thing, you know, with a voice throbbing type thing. It was like, oh, I don't know what to say. Yeah, kids.
Yeah.
Eh? Oh, God. You want to try raising them living on a boat?
Wow. What? Hang on a second. You live on a boat?
Half of the year we live on a boat, and half of it we live in our house. But at one point, we just had the boat, a smaller boat than the one we have now. Yeah.
Right.
Complicated.
That's a crazy. How did? Well, if you don't mind me asking, how did that happen? Because you both. Because you're all English. How did you all end up?
A cardboard box before that. The boat was an upgrade. No, seriously, we lived in a boat in Brighton Marina, and then we bought a boat down here in Gibraltar, and it's quite a big boat. And we have guests in the house during the season, which starts from April through to November. So we're on the boat. We used to move in and out, literally, but it drove me mad. It's like moving house 3 times a week. And in the end, I just said, no, we're all moving to the boat. We'll stay on the boat. And then we work at Dolphin Safari as well. It's all very close to each other. Anyway, that's all scintillating stuff. Right, let's get down to it. At what point did you think Meghan Markle, there's something funny going on here? Because you're quite young, actually, to even be paying attention, aren't you, demographically speaking?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. Because the first video I made, I'm trying to think now. You've caught me off guard there. Why? I started making videos about a year ago because I had an English channel. I was just making like bloody English videos, which were, you know, I was like kidding myself that was my thing. And
you're not alone. I mean, she draws a crowd. There was a thing. I started making videos about like other famous people and whatever, and then I can't remember the first thing that drew my attention to it. I really can't. But I noticed that the first time, because I remember the narrative, right? The narrative was kind of there in my head that she was like, I knew that Harry had married this American actress and that she was mixed race. And I remember everyone sort of being really sort of pleased about that. You know, like the British public, everyone, certainly people my age, you know, I went to school in England. I was like a lot of sort of mixed race and black people in my year and whatever. And it was kind of like I sort of saw them, like, I don't know. I kind of just sort of, I always felt that she was very well received. And then I started hearing comments, particularly from women, that she was a narcissist. And I was like, well, why would they be saying there must be a reason? And then it was just like, there didn't seem to be anything. It didn't seem to be based on anything at first, because they was like, oh, look at her eyes, look at the death stare, look at she's a narcissist. I was like, what?
Yeah, what? Yeah, in the claw. Yeah. And I was like, well,
nobody
there's
said
nothing
to
really
look
to
at
this.
the pregnant kneecap or anything like
Yeah.
that.
But the thing was, when I started listening to her podcast, I thought I'll give it a listen, and I was just, it blew my mind. I was
Yeah.
like, this
She's so boring, isn't she? She is just
oh
so.
my
She's got
God.
the depth of a puddle, really. She's just
Yeah.
not deep at all, is she?
No, not at all. And it strikes me as very like contrived, manipulative.
Yeah.
So she's trying to put an image out there.
Yeah, someone in the comments today really, I think, nailed it by saying she's just such a hammy actress. She's just so terrible. She's more overtly narcissistic to everybody than normal narcissists. I mean, a normal narcissist, you wouldn't identify them as that straight away. Whereas Megan, I think that's why she's such a crowd puller, because she's just such a ghastly actress. She's so plastic.
I think that's exactly it.
She make well. You tell me. Does she make words up? Have you ever heard the words like mindfulness and kindfulness and thoughtfulness and misremembered and problematic? I fucking hate that word. It's problematic.
I hate the word problematic.
Does she
problematic
make words up?
is it problematic is in of itself a problematic word because it's problematic. People always describe things they don't like as problematic.
Right,
they're like, well, someone gives an opinion which isn't exactly the same as theirs, and they'll say, well, that's problematic right there, you know. But mindfulness, I've heard of that, but I'm not really sure what it is. It's kind of this new age I don't know, babble.
Psychobabble.
These that's exactly it.
Misremembered, to me, that means you either forgot or you lied.
I heard Columbo say that.
Yeah, I did actually. I heard Columbo say that, and it must have been like a 1970s episode, but he was being
Columbo episode. What did he say?
He said misremembered, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's I think it's an Americanism.
Yeah.
I think it's American.
It could be. I don't know.
They say misspeak and they say misremember quite a lot.
I don't know. Next time I get arrested, I'm going to try that one out on the police and the courts. Stop it. It worked for Megan. Like magic. Can you believe that? Were you aware of that? That she got away with saying she had nothing to do with finding freedom whatsoever, and that Omid
with
Finding Freedom. It's a book written by someone called Omid Scobie.
Oh yeah.
Have you never heard of the world famous royal commentator Omid Scobie?
Yeah. Oh, I've heard of Omid
Scobie before Megan came along.
Yeah. I've mentioned him a couple of times in videos. I'm not very aware of much. He kind of comes across as I don't know. I'm not. He's an odd. I follow him on Twitter because just to see if he comes out with anything interesting. But he's an odd one, isn't he? He's just kind of his shtick. I think is he's a royal commentator, right?
I think he's a personal bum licker.
Right.
I mean,
he's odd though, isn't he? He's
best. Then it's
he's an odd.
I've seen pictures of him when he was younger, and he was really good looking. Tan.
Was he?
Yeah, quite full in the face.
But how old is he? He can't be very old.
I think he's in his late 30s or something now. But I mean, he's
right. Yeah.
appearance. It's awful. It's so sad.
Yeah, he's had surgery, right?
Botox.
I don't know. Stick on eyebrows.
Yeah, it's odd, isn't it?
He kind of whites up, doesn't he? He's very, very pale.
He models himself.
But he used to be.
He looks like Megan a bit.
He does look like Megan. That's what I mean. So yeah, I'd never heard of him before Megan. And then she said,
no,
Harry had absolutely nothing to do with writing that book. And then their ex-private secretary, Jason Knorf, came forward to the court and provided all these emails where Harry actually wrote to him and said, yeah, we've got to be able to feed this guy information and be able to deny we had anything to do with it. That's an extraordinary level of dishonesty. And she'd written out sort of synopsis. I want them to put this in the book and that in the book. And my sister's a bitch and my dad's a bastard and all this. And it was all read out in court. And the judge kind of, 3 judges said, "What? How come you said you had nothing to do with it when you clearly didn't?" She just said, "I misremembered." And they went,
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
And I was like,
yeah.
what? Because I was a law student at one point, and I've had some experience in the justice system as well. And I just thought, what? How did she get away with that? It's unbelievable. Even Jeffrey Archer went to prison for perjury.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Yeah. I'm not. With the Omid Scobie thing, I was completely. I'm not that aware of it. But yeah,
I'll have to do some videos on him, read some of his articles.
You see, I think what might get discovered here is my lack of professionalism.
You mean you're not a dedicated hater?
Yeah, I think people expect me to be like knowledgeable. I'm like with Omid Scobie, the only thing I notice about him is he has sort of and he has the eyes of an animal. And so I just like in one of my videos I kind of thought the seal opera. And seal opera, I keep mentioning that in recent videos because I'm like, do you remember the seal opera? That was my favorite video that I did.
Oh, I don't know.
And nobody seems to bloody remember it. And I'm not happy about it. Right? And so that's the only mention I've ever given to Omid Scobie, I think. Because I sort of thought he looks like a seal. I can imagine him sort of bobbing, like his eyes bobbing. When Harry spoke about his soulful eyes, a pair of soulful eyes, I thought Omid Scobie's got like the most soulless eyes I've ever seen. and so do seals, to be honest. They're black. Their eyes are completely black.
Yeah, they are.
There's nothing soulful about. If you said a husky they have soulful eyes. They're like piercing blue, like a seal. I don't know. I don't know if that's anyway.
I just want to make you aware that I'm pretty sure Omid watches all my videos as well.
Really?
Because I've made quite
what
a few
makes
of
you
them
think
with
that?
his name in the title. I've made a lot of videos, things like Omid Scobie's a wanker or whatever. If you go on YouTube, there's quite a long list of my videos. I haven't actually ever called him that, bless him. But yeah, I think he'd be.
I got nothing against it. See, the thing is with people like that, it's like I kind of get it. They're trying to make a living, and it's like, so long as they're not. I don't know enough about Omid Scobie. Is he trying to fuck over other people?
I think he's just literally a professional arse licker for Meghan.
Right.
I think he looked at the whole royal family. I think the other royals just hadn't even noticed he existed. She was new. She came along, and he just got his tongue out straight away. That doesn't sound too terrible. Okay, YouTube. Metaphorically speaking. And she just went, "Oh, yeah, you're really cool because you say all nice things about me." And he just worshipped her. And he became her pet, really.
Yeah.
And he does seem, his nickname is her mouthpiece.
Yeah. The thing is, do you like with these people, like with Omid Scobie, like I don't know, you probably know more than me. How much contact do you reckon he has, like direct contact with Harry and Meghan?
A lot initially, and I don't think they're really talking to him very much at the moment. And he's been told to zip it, I think, because he's gone quite quiet on Twitter, because he could well be called as a witness in Samantha Markle's defamation suit in America.
Oh, yeah. Hey, what do you make of Samantha Markle, by the way?
How old is she?
No, what do you make of her?
Yeah, I like Sam. I think she comes across as really nice. I think it's really interesting, the picture of her at her graduation with Meghan, because Meghan clearly looks like she's pushing her way into the center of the photograph. And Sam's kind of sitting there letting her do it, like, okay, it's my big day, but okay, as usual, you got to be the center of attention. That's how that photograph comes across to me.
She I've seen a couple of interviews with her, and she comes across as, I don't know what it is, like, I'm not sure how to say it. She well-spoken, she explains herself really well, and she does come across as genuine, which
have you seen her brother?
Yeah, I've seen the only thing I know of the brother is the letter he wrote to Meghan. There was like an open letter he wrote. He
wrote to Harry and the royal family and the Queen before the wedding, and he said, "Whatever you do, don't let my sister marry into your family. She's a fucking bitch. She's going to ruin your life. You'll totally regret this." That's what he wrote.
But isn't that right? Okay. So where do you think that comes? Because that to me is a red flag. Like if you've got a sister you hate, no. I mean, it's a red flag. Obviously, but I'm saying, like, why would he? Because if you've got a bitch sister, would you write to her in-laws and say, "Don't"? Like, do you know what I mean?
Probably
that seems
not,
like an odd thing to do. It seems like an odd thing to do to me.
Yeah,
it seems like I'm not like I don't know, because here it's like here we're talking about private citizens essentially. So it's like they're not Meghan Markle. I feel a bit worse. See, the thing is, criticizing Meghan Markle, I don't feel bad, because she's somebody's putting all of her shit out there, all of her dirty laundry, and it's like, if you're not prepared for the criticism, fuck you, right? I can swear, can't I?
Yeah, of course, go for it.
All right, yeah.
Some people don't like it, but I mean, it's yeah, I do.
But that's my attitude, right? When it's a public persona, it's like somebody's putting themselves out there. It's like you've got to take what, if I get negative comments, I have to take it, right? With the Markle family, I'm a little bit more like I don't want to criticize. The only thing is, I do think that seems a bit odd.
Yeah,
that her brother would do that
as well. It was an open letter.
It seems a bit odd to me. That seems a bit odd. Like, that seems attention seeking as well. That seems narcissistic as well.
He's got a YouTube channel.
Has he?
Oh my God, yes, he does. He does parodies of his sister, Meghan.
What?
Oh yes, yes. And Scobie. Oh yes.
He's got this in the puppet.
I'll have to send you a link, and he has this sort of.
Oh my God.
Those rubber chicken things. He has one of them, and he does obscene things with it as his sister.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're all just trying to get by.
Oh, you think he's monetized?
Is he monetized?
I don't know. I think so, probably. Yeah.
It's got to be worth it.
He hasn't uploaded in a while. I would imagine for the Markles, it's been a pretty intense journey to be suddenly thrown into the spotlight. I can imagine the press trying to track them down, digging up anything they can.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's been traumatic, especially for her dad. I really feel sorry for her dad, because my dad's dead. Graham's dad's dead. And we both adored our dads, and we just find it incomprehensible that one minute she loves her dad, and then as soon as she marries Harry, that's it. He's just flipped. That seems really heartless.
I don't know. Yeah, I get you. I mean, yeah. But you wonder. I mean, if I'm just going to be playing I'm going to play devil's advocate. What upbringing did she have? Like, obviously, immense privilege and all that. I'm just saying, because I like to bring a little bit of balance to it. I like to be the voice of reason here, Fiona.
So you just rein me in.
Yeah. Why don't you shut up?
Hater, racist.
Exactly. That's exactly what. No, but I'm just like, do you think, like, to produce someone like that? I don't think you're born like that.
I think he probably spoiled her. I think he gave in to just about anything that she wanted. Whereas I doubt he did that with the older two, and that probably created a lot of resentment and jealousy from them, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Even if they kept it to themselves and just thought, oh, Meghan's getting her own way again.
Yeah.
And I think Harry as well has been enormously spoiled, probably out of guilt from Charles because of what happened to Diana.
Yeah. I
bet he was allowed to
get away. Harry's
I'm quite shocked actually that he took cocaine age 17. I'm not a prude, but that's at the time.
Yeah, but can you imagine? Can you imagine being
a spliff, and now it's coming out? It was a lot more. It was like psychedelic mushrooms and stuff.
Yeah, but you're Prince fucking Harry. It's like you're going to be getting offered cocaine every fucking day. Like,
I always thought they're like really square in the royal family, like having cups of tea, you know, sitting up straight and stuff. Do you think? Am I really stupid and naive?
I don't know. I mean, I'm extremely naive when it comes to drugs and that. I just kind of think, if you're Prince Harry, and he doesn't seem like the smartest kid.
I think
I'm calling him kid. He's several years older than me. He doesn't seem like the smartest tool in the box. And I just kind of think, can you imagine? Yeah, with drugs, obviously, he was just going to get offered like straight away.
I know. I mean, it's 17. That's pretty hardcore, I think. Lines of cocaine. I would say that's pretty hard. I haven't actually read that.
Nah, not when you're that rich and that privileged. Nah, really? You go into those parties. Nah, I don't. Maybe I don't know. I've never done coke ever, so no, it's like I don't know. Haven't. But I don't know. It seems like it seems quite prevalent.
Yeah,
certainly in like the.
William does it? I don't think William takes drugs. No.
Do you not reckon he's tried it? Yeah. He's just. The thing is, he's just got his shit together. He's just like a normal.
Camilla or the Queen doing a line of coke? I can't.
No.
The Queen. Nice photo, Charlie. I can't see it. I just can't.
No. No, but I reckon, I reckon most young people of the last couple of generations, if they're born into that kind of wealth, they've all done it. Yeah, definitely. Wow. Yeah, I reckon so. Like everyone I know, like all of my friends, everyone I know at school and everything, they've all done it.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never done
I'm just a massive pussy. Like, I'm just like, I can't. I'm scared. I had like weed, like 7 times in my life, and 3 times I had panic attacks. So
my son had it once last summer and puked.
Yeah.
I know he will not appreciate me saying that. And we couldn't stop laughing.
That's good.
We just said to him, I wouldn't, Ben, I wouldn't. And he'd only had half a bottle of beer with it as well. And he was like, oh, we're all really sick. All his mates taking pictures. No. Not cocaine, certainly not.
I get paranoid.
They're a strange old bunch, aren't they? They live under very difficult circumstances, I think, the Windsors. I know a lot of people say they're rich and privileged, but it must be really weird being a child and one day just realizing you're different to everybody else and everybody's going to be watching you for the rest of your life, literally until the day you die.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's something that people would have had a lot of sympathy with Harry in that sense. They would have. Yeah. I've said in lots of videos, everyone felt sorry for him when Diana died. Yeah. It's like a national tragedy, wasn't it? And
how old were you when that happened? You must have been like.
I was tiny. I was 7, and I remember where I was. Oh yeah, I was 7, and I was at my grandma's house, and I was up early in the morning, and my uncle lived with my grandmother, my namesake, Danial Boland. And he just came down, and even he was like, he's the most cynical person I've ever met in my life. Hates all the famous people, hates all the rich people. And he was just like, he's from Birmingham. They're all from Birmingham. My mum's family. He's like, Princess Diana's died. I was like, oh, what?
That's a brilliant
like,
Brummie accent.
Where's Daniel from?
Yeah, where are you from? You're a Brummie, are you?
Yeah. No, I'm from Sheffield.
I was gonna say, right. So you're what's that guy called? Bean, Sean Bean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're Sean Bean territory. Oh, I love him.
Yeah. Yeah, Sean Bean. Yeah.
Bit of a scrapper.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So your family watch the news all day long and stuff like that? As a kid, you must have thought. Did you even know who she was? Age 7.
Yeah, yeah, because I must have done, because my uncle said that, and then I was kind of like, yeah, okay. My memory, of course, I could be implanting the memory to a certain extent, but I was aware of who she was. Yeah, yeah.
That's incredible, because Megan never heard of her before. Age 37. I just had one question. Is he nice? Because if he's not nice, then it's not going to work for me.
Oh, fucking hell.
Anybody else buying that? She never Googled Harry. She didn't know who Prince Andrew was. Is that the Queen's servant?
This is right. This is the with narcissists. I have, and Megan is definitely a narcissist. I have a degree of sympathy, because it's like, I understand why you would want Harry to believe you never Googled his family, so that he doesn't think you're a gold digging whore, right? I understand. We all understand that. But they don't understand. The thing that narcissists don't fucking get, and they will never fucking get, is that it's like, you can't bullshit your way through everything, especially when you're fucking marrying Prince Harry. You can't. It's all going to come out. It's all going to blow up in your face. You need to, at some point, just go, all right, look, say what the Americans say all the time. I misremembered. I misspoke. Fucking say it, but just own it. You know what I mean?
When she said that she hadn't Googled him, I kind of thought, well, I'll give her a bit of a pass about that.
Yeah.
What's she supposed to say? Oh, yeah. You know, I would never marry him if he was a bus driver, but he's Princess Diana's youngest and he's Prince Harry. So I thought, yeah, all right, I'll give her that one. But was he nice? I only had one question. And then there were just so many other red flags, like when he was going to talk about how they met, which apparently has risen a few questions and a bit of a bone of contention, something to do with yachts, and I won't go any further.
Yeah, I know.
And she jumped in quite quickly and said, yeah, but we should respect her privacy. So I thought, whoa, something going on there that she doesn't want anybody to talk about.
Yeah, it's like this contradiction of wanting to, well, like South Park, you know, it's like we can talk about this for an hour, and South Park in 5 fucking sentences just nail it. They're like, these are two people who beg for privacy and then at the same time want to throw all of their personal shit in our face. It's like, you can't have your cake and eat it. It's like, you know, it's one thing, you know, it's one thing or the other.
Daniel, it's worse than that, because they want to stop our free speech. They want us to stop talking. You're only allowed to say things about them for their nice things. And there is a campaign amongst their fan base that wants to silence YouTubers, wants to silence subscribers who comment, want to silence newspapers, that nobody's allowed to question or criticize. And I know that from personal experience from our two narcs, that one of their favorite expressions is, you don't know the history. And then they change the timeline to suit them. That's what narcs do. They deliberately misremember. I wouldn't go as far as to say lie, but
it's a weird thing with people who are genuinely narcissistic. If you know them, it's not exactly the same as lying, because they they are convinced that even if they are telling a lie, it's for the greater good, which is to show the world that they are magnificent. And the person who's arguing with them is just the worst, you know.
Yeah.
And
Have you
I've
ever
experienced that.
a tricky, have you ever had a tricky person like that in your life?
Yeah.
So you have experienced it firsthand.
Yeah. Not to a point where it caused any you know, just sort of upset family meals and stuff, you know.
Yeah, right.
Nothing. And the thing is, I suppose, you know, I kind of relish those opportunities because when they fucking there's an amount of adrenaline you get when somebody's being like that to you. I don't know. Some people shrink in those situations. I love it when somebody does that to me because it's my chance to just everything that's bubbling under the surface. When they say something that just kind of oversteps the mark, I'm just like, right, let's go. You know. So
you fit right in.
I avoid conflict. I'm not a conflicted person at all. But when and I think that's a problem as well, because it's like if you don't confront people, eventually you get like a situation where, I don't know, the fault lines start to wobble a bit, and it's like you boil over.
Yeah. Well, they do. They provoke and provoke and provoke until they get a reaction. And they're ready for the reaction, so then they can play victim. And I see that with Harry and Meghan. I mean, going on Oprah, that is global TV. And saying that there's a racist in the royal family, and then Harry saying, Meghan never said that. Oh my God, I can't believe he said that. No, unconscious bias, which is totally different. What the hell?
Yeah. Oh, it's so and that this term that gets overused so much now, but it's gaslighting, isn't it? It's like you've read all of our contradictions, you've heard of all of our contradictions, but no, basically, I think that's a you problem. I think you're racist.
Yeah.
I think you miss. You know, it's like, no, I've got a timeline here of the things you've done and said, and it's like, no, you can't win. You can't win because they'll always.
They change the
I don't
story.
know. This is going back to what I said before. It's not exactly the same as lying, because they believe that it's essentially the truth, what they're saying.
I've often wondered if Meghan were to take a polygraph, she'd probably pass.
Yeah. I'm not so sure she wouldn't. Yeah.
Because and I also think in her mind, she's living a Disney character. I often wonder if she sees all the world around her as cartoon characters and hears the music, you know, la 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 la, and she is actually fucking nuts, you know. And then we're laughing at someone who's a bit disabled, which is really bad and mean, isn't it?
Well, that's exactly. I think that's it. Like with the Disney princess kind of thing in her mind, because it's like I was watching the Netflix documentary, and I was when she's talking about it's so embarrassing to watch. It's cringeworthy. When they're talking about the day of the wedding, and in the documentary they play "Going to the Chapel." It's like she's fucking 37.
I know.
It's like, but do you understand what I mean? It's like she's like they're saying, how did you feel? And she's telling us how she felt the day of her, like, second, or depending on, you know, other reports, second or potentially third marriage. It's like, how are you feeling? I was feeling calm, so calm. And it's like, told you, fucking, you've done it. You've been here 100 times before. You fucking, like, you know what I mean? It's like, because you're not going to be nervous. And also, there's another fucking thing that she contradicted herself in. It was really fucking, like, days before the wedding, she was supposed to be in some kind of. So I'm starting to get confused myself from all the gaslighting, frankly. It's like she said, or we're led to believe that she was in some kind of really emotional confrontation with her dad leading up to the wedding, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like that he wasn't coming,
yeah.
or I don't know. Just she felt abandoned by her dad. And then in the Netflix documentary, how did you feel the day of your wedding? I was just so calm. Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
I just wanted a mimosa. All I wanted was to have a mimosa. Hang on. Which one's the truth? I don't fucking understand it.
Yeah,
Like,
her stories do change and vary. It's like she's playing characters. And she does this thing as well. Well, from what I've noticed, she wears these dresses that have a print on them, like one enormous piece of fruit or one huge flower right in the middle.
yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And I think this is some sort of Disney thing that's going through her head. And I can almost see her with a little wicker basket with I just picked some apples from the garden while I was singing with the birds. I'm like,
so much more than this provincial life. yeah, that's what it is.
She's watching this. I bet Harry's got a bulletproof thing in front of the TV.
I think I should probably say at this point, I'm not gay.
Did anyone think?
Just thought I'd clarify
something in the comments.
I break into character like that, but I do love my Disney movies.
Oh, I see, right? You're like the Little Mermaid. You had to give up your voice.
Oh God! Yeah.
I couldn't believe it when she said that to Oprah. I lost my voice and I couldn't talk about anything. I was in the palace and I was telling them all about how I couldn't talk and I just lost my fucking voice. Like just like the Little Mermaid. And Oprah's like that. My ears are bleeding.
What the Oprah though? I mean, Oprah must be pretty
embarrassed.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Oprah's definitely got her head screwed on. She must like smell bullshit a mile off.
Well, I wondered if, well, at least the excuse she's going to use is when it all falls apart, she's going to say, to avoid criticism, oh, I just went in there to film what was going on because I could see something was not right and I felt that cameras needed to get this for historical context.
Yeah.
Well, if Oprah's watching that, she'll probably go, damn, that's a good excuse. I'm making notes of that one. You know, if Megan carry away for some reason in the middle of the night, I thought he was a burglar. Oh my God, now I'll have to keep the titles and all the money and everything. You know, I'm only joking, Megan, all right? If you're watching this, Christopher Boozy, Omid Scobie.
Yeah. I don't know. I reckon we're safe in I don't think Oprah is watching.
No, I don't think Oprah is watching. I think she turns off anything to do with those two because she hasn't stuck up for them publicly lately.
No.
In fact, I think the latest thing she said was, you know, they haven't spoken to me. I don't give them advice. Who? Megan who? Wasn't she?
Yeah, the last thing I saw is like they said, do you think that they kind of caught her outside a studio, didn't they? And they said, do you think they should go to the coronation? And she said, I think they should do whatever is best for them.
Yeah,
That's kind of like, fuck you. You know?
Do you think they will go to the coronation?
I don't know.
You don't think she's worried she'd get booed or someone might throw an egg at her or a tomato?
Oh my God. I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen.
You're
kind of.
You're misremembering.
You know why I don't want that to happen?
What you said before we went live. See,
this is the problem, right? It's like I've noticed this as well that because she sort of evokes such like a visceral reaction with so many people, like for genuine reasons, because she's narcissistic, self-centered, and all that kind of thing. I've noticed that a lot of people do drift into like derangement with her.
Mob mentality, you mean?
Yes. Like, and I've tried to be I've been speaking about her for about 45 minutes now, but I'm fine. It's all under control this end. But
It's interesting. It's like a Meghan effect, isn't it?
yeah, I kind of think, like, so it's kind of, I saw the same thing. You see the same thing with politicians.
Yeah.
You know, you see there's like a genuine reason to criticize a politician as there is a genuine reason to criticize any politician, and then it turns into that guy's the fucking devil, and it's like, well,
they become dehumanized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think with Meghan, I that's what I strive to do every day. I get up and I think, keep Meghan human, Daniel.
Don't go too far. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. I try to. You know,
there is always a danger of the odd egg flying around. I mean, it's something that happens to other members of the royal family. The King's had a couple of near misses. I think the Queen and Philip did get egged once. She got egg all over her skirt once. So
it'd be so much bigger though if it happened to Meghan, because it'd just be like, racist, Daily Mail reading, plebs. It'd just be like, it takes one idiot to throw an egg at Meghan,
which was a lot of milkshake.
Oh yeah.
Imagine that happening to Meghan.
Oh,
I just think a tomato right on the beak. That would be awful.
It would just, but it would be such great publicity for her, and so awful for everyone who criticizes her, because it'd just be like, I don't know. It's kind of like when Jeremy Clarkson, like, did you see what Jeremy Clarkson wrote?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that bad.
No, I didn't understand it was a Game of Thrones reference because he hadn't said that. And also, I didn't watch Game of Thrones, so I probably wouldn't have got it anyway. But now I know, people have explained that to me. On the face of it, it looked really, really bad. And I thought, what are you doing, Jezza? But it's like the Danny Baker thing you were talking about today. I saw that on Facebook at the time and I thought, what the fuck? But I didn't realize Danny didn't know. Why did he choose that picture? He didn't know.
Because it's just like, God damn it. It's like, how many times that was like kind of like a dad joke to me. It was a dad joke. It's like, I think when I can't even describe it, but there was like I don't know, like your dad or your granddad calling you a little monkey, or like,
oh, I see, right.
It was kind of like
when I saw it, I thought it was Wallace and David. I didn't realize it was just some random couple, and I thought, oh, maybe Wallace and Edward and Mrs. Simpson went to a zoo somewhere and had a chimps tea party. You remember the PG Tips date? And I thought it was something like that. But
there was nothing to it. There was nothing to it. He literally just thought, the royal baby's been born. Hey, chimpanzee, that'll be funny. There's no way there was any malice in that. Danny Baker as well. He's like the most sort of lovable sort. He's nothing. There's no way there was any malice in that. It was just, and then you've got Harry.
He mentions
insinuating as another narcissistic thing to do, to insinuate without ever clearly saying anything.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we saw what allies they were. And it's like, so you're insinuating that the press in the UK called your baby a chimpanzee because he's like 1/16 black or whatever he is. It's like, no, sorry, that's bollocks.
It's extraordinary
that didn't happen.
That Harry attacks certain newspapers that are natural allies and fan bases of his.
Yeah.
For example, the Daily Mail, the Express, the Sun, the Times, the Telegraph, they love the royal family. Diana was always keen to keep the Daily Mail on side. They were the biggest. The Sun were the most vicious. I don't think she was so bothered about the Express. The Telegraph and the Times were always going to toe the line, so she didn't care about them. The dodgy ones for her were the Daily Mail and the Sun. So what does Harry do? I'm going to attack the Daily Mail and the Sun because he's a moron. And then he even attacks the Guardian. He's suing the Mirror. These are left-wingers that want to get rid of the royal family that up until recently have been on his side.
Yeah.
What's wrong with him?
There's a couple of things there. Like, first of all, I think that's all Meghan. I think he's a simpleton, and he believes Meghan is the most beautiful, elegant, amazing, intelligent phenomenon of nature. And then you've got the other thing I think there is, like what we saw in the Stephen Colbert interview. Was it Stephen Colbert? Yeah, it was Stephen Colbert, where he goes, he says, he didn't know what to say to Harry exactly. He's like, oh, I love the royal family. Oh, my wife loves the royal family. Yeah, but and then I was reading your book and you were attacking the royal family. I was like, go, Harry. And then he's like, oh, wait, hang on. What do I say? Because are you officially attacking the royal family? It's like Harry doesn't even know what he doesn't know who his enemies are. He doesn't know who his allies are. He's completely lost because I mean, Meghan's got him wrapped around his little finger, around her little finger.
Yeah, that's obvious to me in the book. I mean, that chapter I read out the other night where she's throwing herself down on the floor, sobbing all the time, in the supermarket, and all the people chasing her, screaming her name, Meghan, and all this shit. The guy's as thick as a plank. He totally fell for it. And I'll tell you what I think caused Megxit. I don't think she wanted to leave the royal family after all that greasy pole climbing all her life. I think she wound him up to get the tiara she wanted and get the king to curtsy to her and stuff. And he just freaked out and he said, right, we're out of here. And she was probably like, oh my God, what? Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? I took my whole life to get here. And he would have been like, no, we're out of here. That's it. And she's been taking revenge on the royal family ever since. Yeah, that's an interesting theory. That could be it. Or William had a straitjacket warmed up for her, ready to go, and she fled to Canada.
I reckon it's there's a problem with narcissists that they always think that they deserve more than they have.
You can never.
So it's like I'm in this insanely privileged situation, coming from relative mediocrity. She is sort of an upper middle class girl in Hollywood, and mediocre success as an actress. Pretty good. Well, no, not mediocre. Pretty fucking good success. She's a well-paid actress, but that's not enough. It's not enough. And then you're in the royal family, and they're giving you a selection of fucking tiaras. The Queen of England giving you a fucking selection of tiaras, and you're like, well, I want that one. It's always, and so they'll keep pushing it. It's and I think
won't stop until she's sitting on the throne. And even if he could arrange that, then she'd want to be the Empress of the Moon. And if he could arrange that, she'd want Mars and then Venus, and it will go on, and it never stops.
I read a few years ago. I read Vanity Fair, and I thought there's a character, Becky Sharp, who is just identical. It's exactly the same thing. She's kind of damaged from her youth. She's kind of privileged as a kid. She goes to the private school.
From a bit of a shitty background. And
she does, but more of a shitty background in terms of abandonment. So she's going to a good school.
Yeah, that's
and she's mixing with people, upper class people. A friend, the other protagonist, what's she called? Amelia, is it?
Yeah. Well, you're probably too young. But Thomas Markle was the lighting director on the show Married with Children. I don't know if that was around when you were a kid, but it was huge.
No, but I know. I'm aware of it,
And the star of the show, I forget the actor's name, is now the star on Modern Family, which again is another huge hit. I mean, these are not shows to be not. Married with Children was huge. So he would have been on good money. She was in there with Hollywood.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. It's like going back to what we were saying before. It's like I think narcissism, in my clinical experience, I think narcissists are God fucking hell. I think they are made.
So
But I think they are made. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, a portion of the blame has to be their upbringing, if not all of it. You know, and
Yeah, I think they were both spoiled. Well, I mean, cutting it short, I think she's a bitch and he's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. We're all a victim of our circumstances, aren't we? So it's like, you know, every shitty thing we could just blame it on our upbringing, and it's just, well, some people do too many shitty things to be forgiven, and it's yeah.
Yes,
That's
we're
it,
all products of our own environment and things that have happened to us.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, she's quite shallow. She can't come out with any stories other than the dishwashing commercial and that she had to climb through the boot of her car because the key didn't work in the door. The woman's 41, and I mean, God, I can come out with 100 stories that are relatively harmless. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's all she can come up with. Oh yeah, I wrote to Procter and Gamble. I changed our world. And Hillary Clinton,
that's an odd
the first
one,
lady,
isn't it?
even though she wasn't the first lady at the time, you know, she has these gaping flaws in her lies as well.
It's very odd that I always found that very odd the Procter and Gamble advert that
and the unnecessary
constant
lying,
referring back to
things.
it as though it's like in any way anything other than it was. It was just to set up, you know, it was just to, you know, the whatever, I can't remember what channel it was, Nickelodeon.
That's
I think it was.
And her dad arranged that.
Yeah, they just arranged that. They just went into a school and they're like, well, we'll do this thing where we're going to pretend like, well, that's obviously what happened. And
I mean, I would have thought she's had one or two other life experiences. Why does she only talk about the dishwashing commercial and the key not working in the car?
Yeah. I don't know. It's
some other shit must have happened in her life apart from that. I mean, she could talk about sailing.
The thing is,
I've often wanted to learn to sail a yacht.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, you've had experience with narcissists yourself. I mean, they're strange people, and a lot of things don't add up about their history.
Yeah.
They sort of want to talk about themselves a lot, but don't have an awful lot to say.
Well, with our two, we don't chat to them very much, and we never have. They're like mortal enemies. So I don't know if they do that, but they're not world famous. She is, like you said. This behavior would have gone largely unnoticed if she just kept to the TIG and stayed on a cable show that maybe had 1 million viewers or so. It's a much smaller audience. It's because she happened to marry into the most famous family in the world, and the press put everybody under a microscope. She was never going to be able to continue to get away with that.
There's some people that can't help themselves, though. It's like, you know, the Jussie Smollett case.
Yeah, I think I'm familiar with that. Is that the guy that pretended he'd been attacked by some MAGA people, and then he had to admit he made the whole thing up, which is super weird, isn't it? Why would he do that? Why did he do that?
Well, because he's a fucking lunatic. It's just, and he was so successful. You know, he's on a show that was doing so well. He's getting paid so much, and it all started. This doesn't really get. Hey,
is he an actor?
Yeah, he was on a show called Empire.
Oh, okay, I don't know that one.
No, I'm not familiar with it really, but he was a child actor, and he was, you know, and then he was famous on Empire, and it all started, which doesn't seem to get mentioned quite, you know, very much in the press, that with him sending hate mail to himself to the studio, saying we're going to kill you because, you know, he's black and gay. So he was sending hate mail to himself, and essentially he was really unhappy about a perceived. He perceived that he was undervalued, underrated on the show, that he wasn't getting paid enough, and It's
But
just,
sending himself hate mail, that's
yeah. Well,
bizarre.
paying 2 Nigerian guys, it's like the fucking idiot. It's like you could have at least paid 2 white guys to. It's like, also, why
And what
did he pay
did they
any
grass
guys
him
to
up
do
or
it?
something? Did they say, hey, you know, how did he
It
get
was.
caught?
He rang the police. So his story was that that he
He got beaten up.
that he went to Subway at 2 a.m. in Chicago at minus, I think it was like minus 19 degrees or something ridiculous, and he went to get a sandwich, as you do, at 2 a.m. in Chicago, and he went to go and get a sandwich, and these 2 MAGA Americans attacked him. They put a noose around his neck and threw a substance on him, and he called the police. And they turned up at his flat, and he still had the noose around his neck.
Really? What?
But these people, there are people like that walk among us. It's just like the odd few of them happen to be somewhat famous, and they end up sort of like doing crazy shit like that.
Well, I mean, as you know, I'm from Brighton, and the majority of people in Brighton, they're lovely, but we do have challenges in that particular town.
Yeah.
People seem to run away from their problems and come to Brighton, and then the issues arise. You know, we have a lot of that going on. So I have seen, a lot of strange behaviour. And I mean, down here at the Dolphin Safari, there was a girl who worked for other dolphin boats in Tarifa and then a couple of companies in Gibraltar. She went around telling everybody she was a marine biologist, and she's nothing of the sort. Now, that sounds harmless enough in itself. But she'd say whatever boat she was working for, and she worked for all of them except for us, we wouldn't touch her with a barge pole. Whichever one she was working for, she'd say that boat was saving the dolphins because she'd given them little names like Bobby and Tinkerbell and Cindy. I suppose the dolphins are quite oblivious to that. But all the other dolphin boats, by watching the same dolphins, were murdering and killing the dolphins. Now, you'd be surprised how many tourists believed her. Just because she said, I'm a marine biologist. And this went on for about 4 or 5 years. She disappeared about 4 years ago. I don't know if she was arrested or...
They always do. That's the thing. They have to move on. They've got to move on because they fuck everyone off so much. And it's like... Yeah.
But that was a hell of a thing to live with, you know. And sometimes having tourists coming up to us going, you murder the dolphins. We know because this girl told us she's a marine biologist. And we'd have to end up having a half-an-hour discussion explaining, no, she is not.
Yeah.
And that's just in a small community. Imagine Meghan on a world stage.
Well, that's the thing. It's like
in that palace.
To a degree, in a small community, you can get away with it because you can just sort of, you know, bugger off when everyone's realised, you know, that you're a bullshitter. But once you're on the world stage, narcissists can't see themselves, and they genuinely believe they're in the right. So it's like they'll keep lying. Like Jussie Smollett, he's gone to court and said 1,000,000 times that he's innocent, when the entire police department of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, the lesbian, black lesbian mayor of Chicago, has said, you are a lying scumbag. Like, she's come out and denounced him publicly. And
I didn't know any of this.
Oh my God. It's like nobody's on his side, but he's still saying, no, justice will be served. It's like, you fucking, like, they can't see it. They can't see it.
Yeah.
So to a degree, there's no point in getting irate with them.
Yeah.
It's just when it affects your personal life, it's like, it just...
what I've found frustrating,
it's awful.
I don't so much get angry with Meghan herself, because I've said many times, I think she's ill. I think it's a condition. But I get angry with like the Guardian newspaper, because I'm a lefty, a slightly left of centre. So I was against the idea of Brexit and stuff like that.
I'm out of it. I'm gone.
I was a big Financial Times reader, Guardian reader, occasionally The Independent, you know. And so for the last 3 years, to see them just believing that she's a liberal or lefty, and she's so intolerant. She's the furthest thing from a liberal-minded that I can imagine. And I'm like, ah. So that's what makes me angry. And the people like what's she called? Tessa Dunlop or Dr. Scholler, just shouting and shouting and shouting at us. And then I feel like I'm going crazy. I'm like, why can't these people see it? Or are they doing this on purpose?
Do you know who's come back? I noticed today. Do you know Jamila Jamil?
Oh, yeah, I know.
And now, I hear your size, but I'm going to tell you something. I disagree with every single thing that woman says.
Jamila Jamil. Yeah, I don't.
But she's funny. I listen to it, and I'm like, I can't help it. I was listening to it today. I find her genuinely.
What was she on?
I don't know. She's an actress. She was in some soup. She was in the She-Hulk.
Has someone interviewed her today?
She was on. Yeah, she was on The View today or yesterday.
Oh, The View. The one.
I know.
Sharon Osbourne. I saw her interviewed by Philip
Oh,
Schofield and Holly. Cuddly
they
Dolly
sent
Holly.
her packing, eh?
They got really fed up with her, even them, and they're so nicey, aren't they, Phil and Holly? And Phil was like, "Why did you come on the show? Have you got anything to say, or are you just wasting everybody's time?"
Hang on. What? I'm lost now. Who are you talking about and where?
Jamila Jamil. She's friends with Meghan Markle, isn't she?
She is, yeah.
Or is this another one, Javinka, or something like that? I get muddled on the names. No, I think it's Jamila Jamil. She's friends with.
She did it. She did a podcast episode with Meghan. I did a 3-part. I did a 3-part video on that because it was just the best one. It's just.
I know who Serena Williams is, and I know who was it Beyonce she interviewed, or was it someone else?
No,
Mariah Carey. That's right. It's Mariah Carey. Okay.
Actually, no. To be fair, I was like, no fucking way. But yeah, she had Mariah Carey. Jesus, that's almost as big as.
No, that's right.
Well,
Beyonce texted her. Oh my God.
Yeah. To be fair,
I exist. Yeah.
That was so fucking cringe because Mariah Carey has this reputation of a diva, and that diva was the word of the day, like fucking Sesame Street word of the day on on her fucking podcast. And then Mariah Carey came across as way more genuine than Meghan Markle. I was like,
and didn't Mariah say something like, "You're a bit of a diva, Meghan"? And Meghan was like, "Excuse me, I'm a what?"
Yeah, that was it. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she said something like that. But my favorite bit was when she was like, "Now, did you know when you were looking at me? Could you tell that I was not fully white? That I was part black?" And Meghan's like, "Yes." It's like, no, you fucking couldn't. No, but I swear to God, that was the first time in my life I had no idea Mariah Carey was biracial. Did you even know?
I thought she was. And Beyonce.
Really?
Isn't Beyonce as well?
Oh, yeah, Beyonce is, because Beyonce looks.
Well,
I'm not going to see. This is the problem with lives, right? Because now I'm going to be like, what am I supposed to say now? Get like
Christmas is you. Yeah, I know. I thought she was Latina, kind of thing.
Yeah, a lot of people think Mariah Carey's Latina or whatever, but like I wasn't sure what she was. It's like Carey. That's kind of like an Irish name, innit, or English or whatever. I don't know. I just thought she was white.
I don't know. I just thought she was.
My point was. Mariah kind of goes, "Oh, did you know?" In the podcast, she's like, "Could you tell?"
Right.
And Meghan's like, "Yep." Yeah, that was it. That was like my favorite bit.
She's so shallow, and she's wasted so much money on public relations and PR. She had her face plastered all over buildings in America, all over the world, huge ones on tower blocks like Times Square and stuff. Before archetypes.
Oh my God.
Seriously, look it up. She spent a fortune on it. And the thing is, she didn't have to spend a penny on PR when she married Harry. All she had to do was be nice to the Daily Mail readers. And the thing is, that was it. That was a ready-made audience for her.
The thing is that podcast, because with Spotify, with the podcast, I don't think you can see the numbers. I think
Right.
I think the numbers must be fucking awful.
I would imagine they're pretty low. Yeah.
Like,
I didn't listen to any of it.
yeah, that's the thing. Everyone, I make the videos, and everyone's like, "Thank God you make the videos," because like nobody's even hate watching it.
No.
Like with the Netflix documentary, people could kind of hate watch it because it's just like, okay, I'll put Netflix on, it's there.
Yeah. It's easy.
Sitting and listening to Megan, no one could get through it. Like nobody.
No. Even the videos you did, the bits you were playing of her voice, I find my mind drifting when I hear her talking, thinking about shopping, tax returns, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And oh, Daniel's talking again. Right, I've woken up now. He can explain what that was all about. What the fuck is she talking about half the time?
Yeah.
When is it all going to end? When is it all going to end, Daniel? And how?
Hopefully no time soon.
It's too entertaining for words.
I love it. I'm all for it. These people are part of the world, and I think we just have to accept it.
I've got to say, I'm grateful to her for highlighting the problem of narcissism.
Yeah.
Because she's done more for mental health and being aware of narcissism than anyone else, hasn't she?
I'm a little bit, I don't know if I'm a bit low in empathy, but it's when I hear people talking about mental health and
oh no,
Harry calling his therapist because William pushed him over.
Oh, I know. Can you just picture the scene of William in pure exasperation? William, like quite a placid guy. He's done the air ambulance. He knows how to keep his cool. To be driven to that by his moronic little brother, that's where his hair went. Harry, you fucking moron. Why is it you're the only person on the planet that cannot see? She's a bitch. And then what's even funnier is the moron puts it in a book and describes it all so perfectly so we can all imagine it.
Yeah. It was I felt like I was in William's shoes when listening to Harry tell the friggin' story. I was like, clearly what has happened here, because I've been in situations with friends or with family who are like, you've got someone they're with a narcissistic partner or someone who's just abusive, and you're trying to get them to see it, and they're just making excuses and they start attacking you. It's like, I was just like, William, that situation, like you were saying, being a member of the royal family must be so fucking dull. I really think it must be dull, and it's like it's difficult. It's difficult. I know. It sounds mad to say that, but I wouldn't swap my life for this.
No,
not for a minute. And but there's a way of doing it, and William is exactly the kind of guy who knows how to do it. Do you know what I mean? He can
read the room. He's like his mother. He knows he picks up on things. Whereas Harry clearly doesn't pick up on anything. I mean, to have put it in a book so descriptively, that's what astonished me. That he's painted, and I can see it all in my mind unfolding while he's talking. I know exactly. I can read between the lines what the hell's going on there. Where it's clear Harry didn't have a clue.
Yeah. Harry seems completely blind to it. He does. Do
you ever watch the TV show The Windsors, made by Channel 4?
No, I didn't know.
Oh, Daniel, you must watch it. It is a work of art. We watched it on Netflix. I know a lot of people don't approve of it who are monarchists because it's quite ruthless. It's way worse than South Park. They don't depict the Queen or Philip, but Harry's a big star in it. And of course they depict him as a moron, which is hilarious. And that's how we introduced our kids to the royal family, because they said, oh, they all look the same apart from the Queen. I know which one she is. And they saw this and they thought it was hilarious. And when it had finished, they said, are these people really like that? And Graham and I were like, Well, yeah, kind of. And they wanted to Google them and see what they look like. They were like, Sarah Ferguson. They were like, oh, she doesn't look anything like the girl who plays her. She's actually quite pretty in comparison. And
I said this the other day. I actually think Sarah Ferguson's a nice looking woman.
yeah,
And someone said, no, she looks like, I said this to a Spanish lady who works with me. And she said, she looks like a pig. And I was like, oh, no.
Oh, no, I like Sarah. And
I like her as well. I'm not so keen on the daughter, Eugenie.
Oh, Eugenie, right.
She's. I reckon she's kind of like of Harry's ilk.
She was in the Netflix thing, wasn't she? She's definitely with them.
Yeah. Yeah, she seems like an oddball.
Maybe.
And
I don't know.
I made a video about her and her like her climate advocacy. And it's like, oh, I'm great. It's like, if you want to be climate thing, that's your shtick, whatever, great, whatever, you know. But there, you know, she just kind of sits
around
there
in jets, all of them.
Yeah, it's just,
and there's us.
I can't.
Well, we're not allowed to drive a car for 100 years, so we're all.
But she's so. But as well, it's like the way she talks. She's like the typical. She's like a cliche of and I hate to say these words as well, like privileged, rich, young white girl. Like, and she's just like,
well, she is. She's a member of the
I know that's what she literally is, but you can be a good person being like that, but she's just the way she speaks, it's just really grating. You know, it's
go away. Yes, I know. Well, we have been chatting now for an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And, I wouldn't want anyone out there to say we're obsessed with Meghan Markle. She's a study specimen for me. So
yeah, same.
Yeah, imagine if it all came to an end tomorrow. My God, where would we find the content? I'm joking, Christopher Boozy, because he takes the transcript of everything and he'll be tweeting about it.
You reckon?
I don't know. Are you aware of who he is?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, he's an online bully. In my opinion, he's awful.
Trevor Colt's on here.
Oh, Trevor's on here in the comments as well. Hello,
is he?
Yes.
He's a cool guy.
He is. He's been taking quite a lot of heat lately.
Yeah. So
but he's a soldier. He's tough.
Yeah.
He can take it, I'm sure. So thank you, everybody, especially Daniel, for coming on the live tonight.
Oh,
Go away, Ben.
I've loved being on the lives with my lovely.
Have you been in the comments?
Yeah, I have been. You just haven't.
Oh, excellent. Well, I'll read them all afterwards. I'm not. I haven't got my glasses on, and your dad's been clicking the comments.
Yeah.
I'll be searching them later for insults.
I just find it funny that I can stand perfectly in frame and not be in.
I know, it's kind of strange, this green screen.
Green screen, yeah.
Oh,
hey.
It puts the body in there.
It's a whole room.
Star Trek,
There's a whole room of us here. No, it's been absolutely awesome having you here, Daniel.
Brilliant.
I'm an enormous fan. To me, it's like meeting Russell Brand or Ricky Gervais or something like that. Meeting you, honestly.
Yes, I understand.
Millions of subscribers. Millions. Remember us when you're really famous.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was nervous. What the hell did I just say?
You were nervous.
I just realised. See, I think I'm becoming what I most dread. You know, you just went, remember us when you're really rich and famous. And I was like, I will. Don't worry, Fiona.
We will have to do this again, perhaps on another subject, and see if we can go through it without talking about Meghan and Harry. But then no one no one would care. Like,
well, we're in touch now, so
a trial. Who cares? Gwyneth who?
Yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow. Yeah,
I know. So thank you very, very much, everybody. I will end the live now, and I hope you all have a fabulous evening. Thank you very much for listening.
Cheers, Daniel.
See you later,
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.